Hello everyone, welcome to the PIPCAST 3000, episode 130. It's a bi-weekly podcast where we talk about gaming news, gaming stuff, things, and also usually have a Bethesda-centric topic. I'm Caedo Genesis, and I'm joined by my co-host BADCompanySarge.
Hello there.
And yeah, this happens every other Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific. Usually, we're also recording day of, so I'm going to have to do a mad dash to do the editing and crank this out by then. I think I might be able to do it. Maybe a little later. But I think I've got this. I hope I've got this. If you're listening to this a day late, I'm sorry. Anyway, we have both experienced the next gen update of Fallout 4, so that is going to be the main topic. Fallout 4 next gen. Is it good? Short answer, it's alright. You, Sarge?
They'll have to keep watching to find out my opinions.
Oh, it's longer than a couple of words, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. First, want to thank the Wasteland Legends, Sven and Rose, as well as the rest of the patrons supporting the channel. Thank you so much. And the B-roll, I don't know if it's going to be Fallout 4. I don't have any Fallout 4 recorded, so if I did get more, like I have my series hard drive plugged in, so I could just grab from the older playthrough, maybe. I don't know.
I could see about sending you some, but I don't know what the file limits are, so that may not work.
I'll figure something out. It might be Fallout 3. I don't know. I'm playing around with Fallout 3 footage lately. But anyway, so that's what's gonna be B-roll, I guess. It's not gonna be Starfield this time. Comment of the cast. We talked spoilers of the Fallout show last time, so we picked the one that is not spoiler related.
There were like 2 non-spoiler comments, I think, and like a dozen pure spoilers. So don't worry, we're dodging the spoilers.
Yep. Sarge, would you mind taking that?
Yep. Action Vest Adventure says, "My only gripe: where's Ron Perlman to save a line? Otherwise, I love the show. I was hoping for a nod to Wasteland, but that might be asking too much. Maybe call someone a Desert Ranger?"
It's possible. The NCR made a treaty with the Desert Rangers, so that is still a possibility if they go into the history of the NCR.
That's a thing indeed. I feel like I've seen a few people being like, why wasn't Ron Perlman in it? And
yeah,
I don't know Ron Perlman personally, so I've not had the chance to ask him. But trust me, if I run into him later today, I'll find out.
Yeah, same. I'll just catch him in the break room, ask him by the water cooler. Hey, Ronnie, to his friends.
Yep.
Why don't you say the thing in the Fallout show? Why weren't you there? And he'll be like, Hellboy 3. I'm just kidding. Speaking of things that never were going to happen, or we didn't think were going to happen, or forgot about, I don't know. You remember? Hey, Sarge, you remember Borderlands 3?
I do.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like Borderlands 3. And everyone hates me for liking Borderlands 3. It's a great relationship.
Do you remember well, you see the outline, so I'm doing a weird setup here.
I do remember the science minigame where it's a little, like, arcade machine and you put blocks and, like, line them up or whatever. I vaguely remember it. I played it for a little bit. I wasn't very good, but, you know, it's just a fun little distraction.
Yeah, I tried it, like, once, I think.
Ooh.
But this science thing actually helped. The Borderlands science project was a major success, according to PC Gamer and McGill University. Having that arcade machine in basically the hub of the game, the Sanctuary 3? Is that what it's called?
Possibly. It's the Sanctuary ship.
The concept of the game was to help players fold protein chains to create new structures with changed functions in order to help with the development of treatments for diseases like HIV, cancer, Alzheimer's, and even COVID. So this actually ended up yielding results after 4 years time-ish and ended up being a net positive. It was roughly 4.5 million players. This is players.
Yeah, 4.5 million people who helped with this. And you're one of them, Caedo.
I am.
You did it once.
One time. I did it one time. I did my part, as they say. But I just think overall this is pretty gosh dang cool.
Yeah.
That something implemented into a video game had yielded so many results.
Yeah. There's an interesting thing as well where they talk about how this arcade game is obviously very gamified and it's not one-to-one with the science we're actually doing. And apparently it's less helpful like on an individual session playing this much more gamified version than if in the past they've made much more science-first games which are more directly related to what they're doing. But because this appealed to so many greater people, roughly 4.5 million of them, it's been better overall. Because they've just had so much more data. But even if each data point is like 20% as good, when they're getting like 10 times as many, that's still twice as good as if they'd gone science first.
Yeah. So just a cool, interesting thing. It's more of like a, hey, remember when they did this with Borderlands 3? You know, you can complain about the content of the game itself. Like, there's plenty to complain about there, especially with the characters. But when it comes to something like this was actually ended up being kind of a net positive from the game. So good things can still come out of games that are mid.
I still like Borderlands 3.
I do like the gameplay a lot. Also, Zane is like one of the main
Seems cool.
The main characters of all time. Yeah. And one day I may go back too.
Honestly, if the file size wasn't so ridiculously huge, I'd have it installed right now. But it's like over 100 gigs.
Yeah, same. Fallout 4 is installed to help with that, for sure. So one other thing that was pretty big that happened is the situation where we see a hero become the villain.
Dun dun.
That would be Embracer Group, formerly THQ Nordic. Embracer Group is kind of collapsing under its own weight. Embracer was the one that snatched up a whole bunch of IPs with the intent, I guess, of helping those IPs continue going. Tomb Raider, I think that was Crystal Dynamics, right? Am I getting that right?
I'm completely lost.
Okay.
Some people make video games, and that's about all I know.
Yeah, basically, they picked up a bunch of IPs and just kind of embraced them without too much kind of coming out of it. But now it's a situation where it's splitting up into 3 smaller entertainment companies: Coffee Stain and Friends, Middle Earth Enterprises and Friends, and Asmodee Group.
Who has no friends. Which is a real shame, because they're apparently a global leading tabletop games publisher. And tabletop games are where you really need your friends. That's... yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of this is very much, I mean, this is on Embracer Group's website. It's very much for like shareholder information. So there's a lot of...
It's so business that I can't even make it through an entire sentence without having to restart reading.
It's rough. It's rough to try to read and also talk about at the same time. But basically, it's, you know, I guess a lot of people's hopes for what Embracer was doing is kind of dashed at this point, and it's more like they couldn't do what they wanted to do. At least it's from the outside seeing what they wanted to do. So now it's splitting up into multiple smaller groups. Which kind of sucks, but I hope those smaller groups maybe start putting some stuff together, because I know that like Coffee Stain and Friends, Coffee Stain is responsible for quite a bit of the games publishing wise. Coffee Stain is responsible for a lot of the games I actually enjoy, including things like Deep Rock Galactic. So I hope for the best, but this is not looking great. That's all I really wanted to point out for this one, I think.
I don't know enough about business to have understood if this is a good or a bad thing, and I'm happy with that. I avoided the business world. I'm good with my decision there.
Yeah, well, Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning was under Embracer as well, so
yes,
you know, but
like Re-Reckoning to that game.
Yeah, Re-Reckoning was received fairly well. Bunch of people got into it finally. The Fate Sworn DLC happened.
Yeah, I feel like that one was I don't think it was received badly, but I think a lot of people probably had the thing that I had, where you need to be like crazy high level to get to it, so they gave up.
Yeah, I'm sure this is why a lot of games make DLCs like a few levels into the game requirement, not beat the game requirement, because you're on situations like Sarge did, where he gets burnt out before he gets to that point.
Yep.
Which does suck. It does suck when that happens. But Kingdoms of Amalur is a game you can pretty easily do that in. If you, maybe even on first playthrough, like it's just a lot.
Yeah. It's a big,
big
game.
The map is big, and the quests are, they're all right.
There's some good ones mixed in there.
Some of them are good. Some of them are really good, but other ones, like the dude bleeding from the neck, that one's so much. It makes me laugh every single time. He's like, "Oh, I'm injured." It's just a sprinkler coming out of his neck. Anyway, completely different thing. Tim Cain, the father of Fallout, the original creator of Fallout, he gave his Fallout TV show review after watching the whole thing, I believe, and also talked about lore drift, because he mentioned that he does see players and enjoyers of the Fallout series talking about breaks in the lore, or changes to their beloved New Vegas timeline related stuff.
Yeah.
Which did get an answer. That's how that was depicted in the Fallout show, was actually more of a like two separate events, which is nice to know. Without getting too far into spoilers, like there's a blackboard, it shows a timeline, the two events at the end are separate. That's all that I'm gonna say. That part was clarified, but other things that are choices made by the show to make it more digestible, like how the Brotherhood is kind of structured. They're much more of like religious fanatical thing, like probably more than we've seen them in that sense. Yeah. At least that's what it was hinting at. But a lot of various things that Tim kind of goes over in his video, and more just explaining that lore drift always happens.
Yep.
Whether the players recognize it or not, it always happens. He said he goes back to the previous games or the oldest games. He's like, yeah, between Fallout 1 and 2, we did that as well. Like things do change in the world mythos, and it's okay.
Yeah. Especially if you're creating an entire world.
Yeah.
One thing you do is forget about stuff you wrote and then write new stuff that doesn't always fit in exactly perfectly.
Yeah.
Like, I've had that with something I haven't even finished, where I've just been writing my own stuff, and then like a couple of days later I'll realise, oops, that contradicts something else I wrote earlier. Guess I'll have to rewrite it all.
Yeah.
It's so easy to do.
Yeah.
But it's always insidious, and they do it because they hate us, right, Caedo?
Totally.
That's what we have to believe.
So I do want to mention this, like if you need help being grounded when it comes to like hyper focusing on like Fallout 4 pre-war jet, like that probably is still a big one to some people. Like those kinds of things getting wrapped up in them. Why cats exist in the Bethesda Fallouts. First of all, because they're cute. Second of all, I don't know, they like cats, man. Like I like cats. I like cats in video games.
You're all losers if you get upset about that. That's what Caedo's trying to say, right, Caedo?
Sure. I'll be bad company, bad Caedo Smarge today.
Bad Caedo Smarge. Yeah. Get over it, everyone. That's what we're going for.
Because, segue, because there's confirmed season 2.
Yeah, actually confirmed this time, rather than
confirmed.
the week or two before where people were confirming it without any confirmation.
Yes. What else is there to say? There's gonna be more of a Fallout show. Hopefully, I don't know if Jonathan Nolan is going to be part of the first chunk of episodes like he was in the first season. But from the sounds of it, the other two showrunners, Graham and Geneva, are very much Fallout fans, like huge Fallout fans. So I still think it's in good hands, even if Jonathan Nolan's name isn't attached to the project. But this is just me guessing.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I mean, the first season was good. I feel like they've not boxed themselves in too much with stuff that they've thrown in there. It's still got plenty of wiggle room on what could happen in season 2.
Yes.
I'm quietly looking forward to it.
Yeah, same. If they start strong like they did, how much stronger can you start? First episode of first season. I just hope the questions are answered that I have, because there's quite a few questions you get left with by the end of the first season, including characters that aren't really shown enough. Like you get what's necessary for the story, but you don't see all of their nitty-gritty details.
I mean, I'm gonna say I like when not everything is shown and some things are left open to interpretation or not explained.
I do like that as well.
I'm more on board with that. In both the games and the show. Hell, if they just didn't put dates on anything in the whole series of Fallout, we wouldn't have a law break problem. It'd be great. You could just be like, oh no, this was actually from beforehand or this was from after. Make the players figure out the timeline.
Well, lore break in the sense of timeline.
Yeah.
But people will still be mad about other stuff.
Oh, people will always be mad.
This is how things work.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is just a GQ article that talks about that it's an interview with the showrunners that talk about the show and their plans and stuff like that. So if you are more interested in absorbing more of that information, that as well as the other things we talked about are linked below. I don't recommend the Embracer one though, because it's just a lot of word salad.
It's so much business.
Unless you're really into business.
Yeah. I almost did a business degree. Ugh.
Wow.
Yeah. I was going to do a joint business mathematics degree.
Well,
old Sarge was a very different person than current Sarge.
I am glad you turned out the way you did, Sarge.
Think about it. I could have done none of my videos and instead just been an accountant for people. Wouldn't that have been so much more rewarding and exciting?
You tell me. You tell me that. Okay. Made it through the news pretty quickly, actually.
Yep, very quick.
Yeah, I like this four topic thing, or four news thing, four news topic thing to the main topic thing, which is Fallout 4 Next Gen. Is it good? Okay, Sarge, you had this loaded and ready. Tell me your review.
Yeah. There we go. Hope you all enjoyed waiting for that. Overall, I think, yes, this is good. First of all, I mean, the big thing, I think the thing that pushes this into good rather than bad is that it's a free update. If they'd made this something you have to pay extra for, garbage. Negative reviews everywhere. The fact this came in free is what puts it into the positive. Because honestly, there's not that much from this update, especially if, like Caedo and myself, you're on the PC. It's just extra content for us. Yeah. Most of the other changes don't really matter. Although I've heard positive things from some people on console, talking about actually being able to go into Boston and having the game crashing less and just being a lot smoother in general, which is good to hear.
Yeah.
It's kind of a shame it took this long to get to that point, but it is good that that's been fixed. This is all secondhand information, so I feel bad doing anything too strongly. But
it's like the downside of both of us being on PC is neither of us have tried next gen on Xbox or PlayStation.
No.
So,
but I've heard good things. I haven't heard anything bad from console players yet. So. If you're on console, this seems like an objectively good update. On PC, it's a bit more mixed, mostly depending on how much you love mods.
And how the game gets along with your existing hardware.
Oh, yes. Oh, okay, I'm just gonna nap for 20 minutes while Caedo gives you the saga of all the problems he's had. I haven't actually heard all of this. I was on and off Discord quite a bit, but every time I saw Caedo had like a new problem or something.
Well, it was more just a single problem that kept getting worse. So So me and William Strife have this same issue. William Strife, friend of the show, who's been on a couple of times. I was concerned on inviting him on because he was upsetty spaghetti about trying trying the next gen, because he and I both ran into the issue of the endless loading screen, or the loading screen that would take way too long, especially when you were going from an indoor cell to like the proper Boston city areas. Like the loads would just keep going and going, upwards of 2 minutes loading time, which on our hardware, both me and Will's machines, like, should not be that long of a loading time, like, at all, especially when compared to, say, somebody I talked to on Twitter about it who had lesser hardware than myself in most respects and was playing the game just fine. Without those kinds of loading screens happening, I didn't delve into the details with them because they were more of a response that I'm used to, of somebody saying, oh, it works fine for me, which is totally helpful to me all the time.
I'm going to quickly just add in with the whole people I've seen on like my video and stuff I've made about it have been like, well, will it work fine for me? And the answer is, I don't know. The answer is always, I don't know. I've seen so many people being like, will this game be good for me now? And it's like, I don't know. You've got to try it out.
Yeah, if you're on PC, we don't know.
Yep.
Because for some people, they might be like me and Will, who run into the endless loading still, and have to install the load accelerator mod and go through the whole process of trying to get that to work, because for some reason, either something I tweaked like very early into like having Fallout 4 on this PC, or the game just kind of expecting to do a fresh install, something was wonky there where I had to, after like 2 hours of troubleshooting, go back, delete both of my INIs, for those are the config files that your computer stores, as well as resetting my hardware profile for Fallout 4 on NVIDIA control panel.
Yes.
Yeah. So I did that, then installed the load accelerator mod, and then it worked. What it does is, for whatever reason, on my hardware, the game ties loading to frame rate for some stupid reason. So what load accelerator does is increase your frame rate to over 200 during loading screens. And lo and behold, my loading screens are much shorter. So it's an engine working with my computer problem, not my computer itself, really. So
well, I'm glad it sounds like you at least got that sorted.
I did, and I will say too, we'll get into the other thing about modding that people are upset about, but this does not require script extender to work. This is just a couple of files that you drop into your install folder, and you follow the steps on the mod page, and it should hopefully work. I also added something into the forum. If you just search my name, if you're running into issues and you have the same issues as me, you might find that helpful, I guess. I'll just link to that as well for the load accelerator. But getting to the Fallout 4 script extender part, yes, just like Skyrim Anniversary Edition and most prior updates to Bethesda games, basically the whole time we've been modding Bethesda's games, script extender is broken for now. So if your mods rely on script extender, they're probably not going to work. And in fact, your game might just crash on launch, or crash during gameplay, or crash just whenever else.
Might just crash.
Yeah. So something else that I linked here is the script extender like posts forum thing, where it's the script extender creator talking about like where they are ETA wise on getting script extender updated, because they're frustrated every time this happens, which makes sense, but we should not, assume Bethesda will never update their games too. Yeah. So it's a double-edged sword. But below that post, I should mention, is a way to a tutorial on how to downgrade your game so you can use mods again without the new content. there's a tutorial for that to downgrade your game or like just stop it from updating, I believe. So there's that there. So I'm trying to help with resources. That's what I'm saying. For those who just want to play more Fallout, and because the next gen update happened, they can't because they had mods installed. And I don't know if you're like me, sometimes I forget the process in which I did that because I have a lot of games where I have installed things to just make them work.
I mean, the sensible thing is just to play without mods. That's what I do, and my life is perfect in every way.
Yeah. I'm sure you don't run into that loading screen issue, Sarge.
I don't. My longest load has been like a minute. I've had no issues.
Or this came to mind too. Like it had been a while since I had properly played Fallout 4. I'm wondering if, like for me, it was a rose-colored glasses thing. Like I didn't remember it being that bad because I had played 76 for so long.
Yeah.
And 76's loading times are fine. Like they're good.
No, I remember Fallout 4 as always being longer on the side of loading.
Yeah. Now that the technical stuff has been talked about,
woo.
Do you want to talk about the stuff that it's supposed to do? The stuff that the next gen update did?
I mean,
should we go over changes and features first?
Let's just shoot through all that quickly. I'll let you do that because it's boring stuff, and I'm going to say the exciting things instead.
Yeah! Alright, changes and new features. Native PS5 and Xbox Series applications includes performance and quality mode options. Performance mode with a 60 FPS target, 4K resolution, standard settings relying on dynamic resolution scaling. Quality mode, 30 FPS, 4K resolution, ultra settings should not require dynamic resolution scaling. When connected to a 120 Hz display, quality mode will target 40 FPS. When connected to a 1440p display, the title will run at 1440p resolution at 60 FPS with ultra settings regardless of rendering mode. It was released on Epic Store, widescreen and ultra widescreen support, Steam Deck verified, and the 9 free Creation Club items, including Enclave Remnants, new, Halloween Workshop, new, Makeshift Weapon Pack, new, and the rest were already existing, and added an installed content menu, which is so helpful to have.
Yeah, it is actually really helpful.
By the way, it consolidates all of the information that you want when you're looking at the like mods or creations thing, and just has it as a different menu thing. So anyway, yeah, let's get to the meat and potatoes, Sarge. You tell me where.
I say we start with Halloween Workshop. We'll save the Enclave stuff till the end because there's a lot of it. But the Halloween Workshop is a small little one-off quest, All Hallows Eve, where you go to the New England Technocrat Society. There's spooky Halloween gala and you get to check it out and see what's going on. And I did not like this quest.
Oh, why not?
This is the one quest in here where I'm like, this one I do not like. And the problem is, you get gassed in the quest, and it messes up your vision, and it keeps messing up your vision, and it's just very annoying, because your vision's constantly messed up while you're in combat, while you're searching around, while you're solving a puzzle. Like, I'm fine with very short-term blinding effects of some kind in the game, but this one just doesn't end until you solve the issue. And solving the issue takes longer because you can't see half the time.
There were spots I was walking into that didn't... that stopped the gas from hurting you. Like, it seemed like it was only happening in certain specific areas.
Yeah. I mean, the damage for me wasn't too much of a problem,
but
fortunately.
Even so, yeah, the blur effect is really annoying.
Yeah, I hate the blur effect. Like, it's only good very short term, but this is just throughout all of the bits where you're exposed to gas.
Yeah.
As a reward from this, you get like Halloween props to decorate your settlement with.
Yeah.
I've not really used any of them.
I looked at them. It's more just, basic Halloween decorations.
Like, if
what
you
else do you
want
expect?
to put Halloween decorations up, great, but it's not too much. There is also the Decapitalist helmet. There's a fancy power armor one and regular ones as well, is it? I can't remember if they're all power armor or if some of them are regular. I feel like some of them are regular.
The ones that were on the table were actually like ones that were being made. Like, I don't think they're even usable.
Well, There's also like a power armor helmet for certain, and it's not got particularly good stats, but if you want it for the aesthetic purposes, you can get it.
Yeah, if you turn on your helmet light, it says die.
You can change that as well. There's a few different messages it can send.
Oh,
yeah,
that's what I kind of figured.
That's the modification you get instead of useful things like targeting hut.
Yeah, this is more for goofy dress up purposes.
Yeah.
You know, as the name implies, I suppose, for the event.
Yeah, I wanted to cover that one first, though, because that's one I've got negative feelings towards. All the rest, I'm mostly positive.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, I thought the All Hallows Eve was okay, because I did actually like the backstory stuff too, related to like what happened to this party and the partygoers kind of thing.
I think I would have enjoyed the story behind it if I wasn't constantly being frustrated while going through the story.
That's the trouble of integrating something that's annoying depending on who is playing too, or I don't even know like where, because it was clearly an area thing of like where the gas would affect you and where it wouldn't, because I was like moving to spots where it just wasn't affecting me at all, or maybe the power armor helped, I don't know.
I was not in power armor. I was wondering about my little
the mild escape room aspect, even though it was fairly simple, I liked, because it felt like, you know, extra steps that were kind of fun rather than, you know, the standard.
Yeah. I think the puzzle itself to get out was kind of a nice one.
Mm-hmm. It's the mildest of escape rooms. It's like one puzzle. So
it's weird that Fallout 4 has several escape room kind of areas in it.
Does it?
Yeah, well, there's the gauntlet in Nuka World. That's got a bit of an escape room bit towards the end of it.
Oh, I guess that's true.
Car park thing with the multiple doors and routes. Like, there's a few different escape room vibe things. There's the Miss Nanny training facility thing as well. Like,
oh yeah,
it pops up a few times throughout the game without ever being like directly an escape room per se. But I just
haven't played Fallout 4 enough lately.
Terrible. Well, you've got a reason to go back, and it's for makeshift weapons.
Yeah.
Do you want to fire piggy banks at people and baseballs? Because you can.
Yes, I sure do, Sarge.
And also technically there's 6 weapons this adds. 2 grenade launchers, which are fairly powerful, but I don't think ridiculously overpowered in any way. The nail gun and saw blade launcher, both of which I found a little disappointing, and then the baseball launcher and the piggy bank fat man thing, both of which are ridiculously overpowered.
Yes, they are.
Like, we got a real variety of stuff. There's also an associated quest, which I did enjoy. We'll say that. It was a good little quest about people.
It was.
Just fighting with each other and then using crazy weaponry.
Yeah.
I like that.
I had a couple gripes about this one, actually.
Go ahead and gripe.
I wanted to buy more nails and saw blades or craft them.
Okay, yep, we've got the same gripe.
Yeah. Because the amount of nails they were selling was pitiful.
Yeah. Also, like, surprisingly expensive for nails. Like, an individual nail cost me, when I had, like, 6 charisma or something, like 3 caps.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like, if you're a max charisma build, maybe you can get a nail for 1 cap, but it's a nail. It's a nail.
True. Yeah. Should be like 0.2 caps or half a cap.
They should be sold in bulk. You should be able to craft them, because you can craft the modified baseballs for the baseball launcher, but you can't make nails. And I checked all of the automation contraption style stuff as well.
I was wondering about that. It's not?
No, I spent like a good hour or so trying to figure out how to make the nail gun or saw blade launcher viable. You just have to buy the ammo.
That's not good.
No. Like, you can get some of the ammo back with the nail gun, I know. Sometimes enemies will have the nails in them and you can take them out. It's kind of like an arrow situation in Skyrim where it's sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. so it's not like a reliable way to do it. Baseball launcher, on the other hand, in VATS it fires more baseballs than you lose in ammunition, so you can gain ammunition with it, which is brilliant.
Oh.
Fire that thing in VATS in a small room again as a tanky
Oh wait,
enemy.
is it a 2-shot?
Maybe? I don't know exactly how it works, but it's got 9 rounds of ammunition as standard when you pick it up, or when I did anyway. And whenever I emptied the mag in VATS, I'd get a dozen rounds back or something from picking them up off the ground. It seems to just occasionally fire extra shots.
Oh,
and also,
weird.
one targeting in VATS fires the entire magazine, sometimes more than the entire magazine.
Or maybe it's just buggy, I guess.
Probably.
I haven't played with it at all because I maybe just flew off the screen somewhere for me because
You do have to pick it up off the ground. It's a one-of unique thing as well.
Yeah.
So, I managed to get it though. I had tons of fun with it.
I did get the piggy bank
no
Fat
choice.
Man. That was a lot of fun.
Yes.
And the piggy bank weapon variants, which are grenades and mines. So you have so many
I didn't
options.
notice the grenades.
Yeah.
I may have picked them up, but I've only played around with the mines. Are the grenades somewhere different, or is it just a case of I didn't notice?
They look exactly like the mines. So.
Alright, I probably just didn't notice.
Because I went through Suggs' inventory and I'm like, wait a minute, this is a grenade. Yeah.
That's fair. I will say the piggy bank mines are bottle cap mines, but with almost 20% extra damage.
They didn't need to increase in damage, by the way.
They really didn't.
Bottle cap mines were already
the
the strongest explosives in the game, outside of the nuke ones.
Yeah, bottle cap mines by default deal, I believe, 302 damage. The piggy bank mines are 350 damage.
Yeah. Most enemies will die or be severely injured with those already. They did get nerfed a little bit from Fallout 3, just the damage scaling wise, but they're still
I mean, if you max
really
out Demolition
strong.
Expert though, it's
Oh, yeah.
one hit kill on almost everything.
Yeah.
I think only proper bosses wouldn't die instantly.
For sure.
And
so basically,
the piggy bank Fat Man as well is a mod for the Fat Man, meaning you get the 2-shot big boy. You can fire 2 of them. It also does more damage than the standard Fat Man.
that's a lot.
Yeah, and I've seen people saying that the explosion seems bigger as well. I'm not sure if that's actually true or not, but it is devastating.
Did you try the makeshift grenade launcher?
Yeah.
Or the pipe grenade launcher?
The pipe grenade launcher, I really like the aesthetic of that. I mentioned in my video that I love pipe weapons, and seeing a pipe grenade launcher is very cool. It seems to work fairly well. Do you have any particular strong takes about it?
I did not use the pipe grenade launcher. I just it wasn't available in Suggs' shop the first time I ran into him.
Oh, didn't you pick it up when you were doing the quest?
Was it pick upable somewhere?
Yeah, it's literally on a table by a
Gosh,
note you're
dang it.
supposed to pick up. Were you using a lot of grenades when you were doing this quest, Caedo?
Yes.
You just blew all the weapons out of the way.
Probably. I don't
That's great.
know.
Yeah, it's super obvious, in the room, in the Marvin storeroom area. It's, placed on top of a note you're supposed to pick up, so that you can't miss it.
Oh yeah, that room got blown up.
Yeah.
So
With you saying the baseball
I guess
launcher
this
and
is
the
a me
grenade
problem.
launcher now.
Gosh darn it, Caedo, stop using explosives so much in small, tight spaces.
I just love the
'Cause
mental image of
apparently-
you going into a room that's just been absolutely blown apart going, where is everything?
I guess I can't trust the quest to mark the things that are useful.
No.
Instead, it just
I mean,
points
quest
out a note.
markers, yeah, it will quest marker the note, and normally the grenade launcher is directly on top of it.
Nope. Not for me.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. You got the Chinese grenade launcher though, right?
Yes, because that one you get whether you
Yeah.
want to or not at the
That
end of
one's
the quest.
literally handed to you.
It's just, thank you, Suggs. I'm guessing it's superior to the pipe one.
Yes, there are some interesting differences though. First of all, the legendary effect. I've not been able to go back and double check.
It is the same as yours, I think.
Okay. Because, on the pipe one, you get the rapid legendary effect, which is quite good. like not crazy good or anything, but makes it a bit more of a quicker weapon. But the Chinese grenade launcher, is it Ghoul Slayers?
No, that was the incinerator.
Incinerator. There's a lot of legendary weapons I picked
But
up in the
I saw
past day
the
or so.
legendary effect you got, and then I got the same one.
Okay.
I think it's the same. I just don't remember what the effect is.
I'm gonna check it real quickly.
Okay.
Footage here somewhere. Penetrating effect.
Yes. Yep.
There we go. It,
And that is-
ignores damage and energy resistance, which is very good.
I also do have the better mod descriptions mod on still, so it just shows the actual effect of what it does, not
What's
not
the actual effect?
penetrator's effect. Penetrator was, it just shows like the percentage of ignoring armor as the effect.
I mean, the effect it
So
tells you in the workbench as well, and on the description is ignores 30% of the target's damage and energy resistance. So I'm guessing that's one that the Bethesda did nice and clearly.
yeah.
Yeah. I will say the big differences between these two is the fancy grenade launcher rifle, the Chinese one, is like better damage and stuff. However, it seems, I think it's quite a bit heavier. I'm trying to check between the two. My character keeps looking at different stuff. Stupid character. Yeah, I think it's a bit heavier. It also, one cool thing that the pipe grenade launcher has is a suppressor. So you can stealth explode things.
That's right. Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
And very Fallout.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Chinese grenade launcher does have like an explosion shield you can mod onto it though. So it's, a bit better for close range blowing up at things.
Ah.
Yeah, I'm quite a big fan
I
of
might
that.
pursue that more.
Yeah, and my video that I'm watching has just shown me that the piggy bank bomb launcher for the Fat Man is 100 points more damage than the standard Fat Man.
Oh my god.
Yep. This is the overpowered weapon DLC.
It's too strong. Yes. That part is true, yes.
Which also just makes the nail gun and sword blade launchers seem so much worse in comparison.
It makes it sad because I want to use the makeshift weapons more, but
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to say,
ammo availability.
if you want like a cool nail gun and sword blade launcher, I'm pretty sure Far Cry New Dawn has both of them, and they're like amazing. I know the sword blade launcher is incredible in that game. Like,
True.
we've got a post-apocalypse game where they're really good already, I'm afraid.
But get New Dawn from a free deal or get it from a mom and pop shop. That's just my suggestion. Because it's Ubisoft.
I mean, is it on Game Pass? It might be on Game Pass as well. I know some of the Far Cry's are.
Is it? If it is, then yeah, then you can just do it that way, I suppose. I don't know. I just don't like putting money towards those games.
That's fair.
One more thing I wanted to mention about the grenade launchers is they do sell enough frag grenades, for you to keep them fed.
That's good, because I know you can't craft those either.
Because after I'd found another complaint about it is Suggs' shop is not marked after the fact. You have to find it again.
Yeah.
That part sucks. Because I was wandering around that block for a while because I hadn't been to Fallout 4 for quite a long time. But when I came back to his shop, he was selling a stack of 40 mil.
Are they actual fragmentation grenades, or is it an ammo type?
It's an ammo type called 40 millimeter frag grenades or something along those lines.
Yeah, if they'd made it just like the grenades you can craft and are already throwables in the game, that would have been a bit smoother. But I'm guessing they're also much more expensive.
Yeah.
So, bit of a swings and roundabouts thing there.
Yeah. That's probably why they did it.
I do wish that other merchants sold this stuff, because it is just Suggs. As far as I can tell, I've not seen other merchants selling these.
I think I did see somebody else selling nails in either, I think it was Diamond City. Somebody else was selling nails, but it was a handful. Like, it's like very, very much like desolate wasteland vendor as opposed to a city vendor. Just handing you a fistful of nails and being like, okay, here you go, this is for your nail gun.
Yep.
But I need more. I need more than that. Also, when I fire the nail gun, like the non-hit scan nature of the nails too was like, it almost felt weirdly like slow projectile speed.
Okay.
But
I got on all right with the nail gun, but I was using it close quarters when I was testing it out. For me, the sword blade launcher was the more tricky one, because it's not only has it got terrible sights by default, but it feels very weird. So I'm guessing it's the same sort of feeling you were having with the nail gun at range.
Yep. You have to lead your targets with them.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, why don't we move on to a different thing?
Enclave stuff.
There's more
There's
content.
so much more. It's all Enclave. It's a ridiculous amount of Enclave. I'm worried about all the Enclave stuff we've got.
Why would that be?
I don't want them to bring the Enclave back in a big way.
Oh, I feel the same way.
Yeah. I know some people love the Enclave, but first of all, the Enclave suck. Secondly, we've already seen the Enclave get defeated twice. We don't need to defeat them again. I'm fine with there being the odd remnants here and there, and we are just dealing with remnants in this content. But I am so worried Bethesda's going to be like, and the Enclave of the bad guys are Fallout 5.
That's the thing too, is it's mostly remnants, but some of them are operating in an official capacity.
Yeah.
And have multiple outposts.
Yeah. And there's a lot of like fancy equipment they've got too.
Yep.
It's a big concern.
So do you want to just, I don't know, go over the Pyro and Saugus Ironworks
stuff we get.
or Pyro and Crucible first? Because those kind of line up.
You know how the Saugus Ironworks in the game is already kind of a scary location? Well, now it's a billion times worse.
Yeah.
Everything around there is crazy lethal, high level, and deals damage over time. You will die when you go there. They decided to put, like, I think 3 of the different quests in or around that location. Like, there's
at least
the
a couple of them.
one inside of the Ironworks. There's now a named character called Pyro, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Pyro, who has, like, hellfire armor and a heavy incinerator and stuff, who's around the area, and also, I typically find him to the west of there. I'm not sure how much he wanders about.
He was at listing post Bravo for me.
Okay. But yeah, he seems to wander about in, like, the direction you'd come from as well. So, that's not great. And it also seems that because there's more people there, I think maybe, like, encounters there go a bit more crazy as well. Because I found just mass fighting. There were, like, raiders, settlers, forged, enclave, just so many dead things while I was running for my life. It's all a bit ridiculous.
Yeah. So Pyro is wearing the Hellfire power armor. I believe this is the one set of Hellfire power armor in this whole update. No?
It can randomly spawn, I think, on Enclave people as well.
Oh, okay.
I've ended up with multiple sets of Hellfire power armor. It seems to be a bit random.
Okay.
I think this is the only guaranteed set, I want to say. Because the rest of them do seem to be, sometimes they'll be in Exo 2, sometimes they'll be in Hellfire.
Yeah.
Like, I've not done too much testing, but if
it
you
could
want
be like
Hellfire power armor...
Yeah, I was going to say it could be related to like level scaling too, because I was playing with a high level character, or like a level 50-ish, my 2-timer character.
Yeah. I was playing with like a level 10 character, but I'm really good at the game, so it doesn't matter. I also was in like the best power armor and with the best weapon, the baseball launcher.
Yeah. But yeah, the Pyro encounter was wild for me too, because Pyro showed up. I didn't actually kill Pyro.
Okay.
It was at listing post Bravo. That's where the Brotherhood of Steel has the fun little end with Dan's story. I fast travel there. I see some raiders. I don't see Pyro per se, but then I start getting hit, like pelted with fire. fire projectiles. Somebody has an incinerator. So I look around, it's an Enclave patrol. So an Enclave patrol and Pyro's squad are fighting each other. Then a Brotherhood Vertibird comes out of nowhere and starts like just pelting the ground with all of this gunfire. This was the ending where I sided with the Institute. So the Brotherhood hates me too. So
Okay.
I am in a 4-way fight with the Brotherhood, the Ironworks Raiders, as well as this Enclave patrol. So it was all chaotic, and of course I didn't manage to find everything that dropped from these guys because again, everything exploded. This just keeps happening to me. I don't know why. It wasn't just me this time.
Sure.
But the amount of things that happened at Listening Post Bravo was frankly a little overwhelming. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I also fast traveled to listening. I either fast traveled to it or walked past Listening Post Bravo, and it wasn't much further I got before I ran into Pyro. So I feel like he is kind of between there and Sorgus Ironworks.
Oh yeah, that's the best part. I found Pyro already dead. I didn't kill Pyro. I was too busy fighting the Enclave patrol because they were the biggest threat.
Yeah, I didn't find Pyro to be particularly tough. He just has really good loot. So yeah, the problem is the heavy incinerator is ridiculous.
Yes.
Because it just kills you.
Yeah. So let's see, where was the Echoes of the Past? That's what triggered at the same time for me. Did that happen at Listening Post Bravo, or does that kind of just happen if you run into an Enclave patrol somewhere?
I think there's multiple triggers for it.
Okay.
Because I know it talks about Pyro and how they're hunting him, but it's also got other stuff to do with it as well, I want to say. Wait, is it Echoes of... Which ones? No, Echo of the Past. Okay. There's multiple quests. I have to remember which one's which, because they all just have Enclave troopers in them.
Yep.
Echoes of the Past is around the Sorgus Ironworks area.
Okay. Yeah, so that area is just really dangerous now.
Yeah.
If you start a game there.
Because there's an Enclave camp nearby, where I think it's supposed to start there, but other things can trigger it too.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's...
I want to say Echoes of the Past is like one of the two like chunkier parts of the Enclave stuff.
Yeah.
Speak of the Devil being the other one.
Yep. Echoes of the Past sends you to basically wipe out a bunch of Enclave people, and they have ridiculously overpowered weapons.
They
like
do.
the Tesla cannon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Tesla cannon's ludicrous.
Yeah, it is. I will say, at level 50, it wasn't doing the damage I wanted it to, but my character was also not built for using big guns at all. So, you know, your mileage may vary.
It's ridiculous. But also, you go to the glowing sea to get it, which you normally should not do at level 10. I was not playing this in a normal way. I want to point that out as well. I was only able to play it this way because I did the whole devil quest and got the fancy good power armor from that.
Yeah, but the Echoes of the Past takes you to eventually to an Enclave outpost that has a ton of Enclave there.
Yeah.
So there's really no shortage of gear if you can survive it. So how about the Speak of the Devil quest?
That one
what did you think of this one?
Enjoyed. That was the kind of Enclave inclusion I'm down for. It's like a small amount of them, and they're not dressed like they're a full military faction still. They're dressed like people who were part of the Enclave and are now in bad situation. That I'm fine with. And the story behind it was kind of good. There was a little too much jumping around and picking up holotapes and things, which is very standard for Creation Club stuff. I can't remember. I think it's the Vault-Tec Distress Call one you get for one of these quests. Did you listen to the radio message? Distress Call.
The reused voice line and the lasers?
Yeah, it's like where there's two lasers, and then there's a break and the person goes, "Help me!" and then just silence, and then pew pew. Oh no! It's so badly done.
Yep.
Like, I understand part of it is the restrictions of having to reuse voice lines, but if they could have at least got rid of the silence or, like, layered them in some way...
That was the best of 3 one at the very top.
Best of 3. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one specifically just for the Tesla cannon.
Yep.
Because there's a separate quest just for a Tesla cannon, but it also ends up in the glowing sea. So
yeah, they're really close to each other. And I think... I can't remember if this actually is right or not, but I think sometimes the Enclave people can spawn with Tesla cannons. I feel like I've seen one out in the normal Wasteland as well. But I may be misremembering there. So, can't guarantee that.
Well, on top of, like, Echoes of the Past, like, on top of going to a proper outpost, like, you learn of 3, like, other Enclave outposts that you can go to.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe there's more at those places, too. I don't know. I didn't check all of them.
I went to them because you get magazines there, which give you workshop building items for Enclave stuff.
What?
Yeah, you can build a little Enclave base, which I've done, and everyone will get to see in a video I make at some point soon. Yeah.
At one point, I made a magazines guide for Fallout 4.
Oh no. I'm gonna go comment on it right now, complaining about the lack of Enclave magazines.
I don't know, maybe that'll raise my engagement on that guide. It's just funny that they keep doing this. Okay. Crucible. What did you think of the Crucible quest? We talked about Pyro, but we didn't talk about like the Saugus Ironworks proper quest.
Oh yeah, that was a fun little one. It was a bit stressful for me because fire everywhere, but yeah, I liked that. It was a neat little quest within Saugus Ironworks, which is a cool location, and the actual obtaining the weapon has some interesting story behind it. You get some cool mods for Raider power armor, which I like.
Yeah, and just a set of Raider power armor if you need it, too. Like, it just has it there for you. So, that part was neat. But yeah, you get a Ghoul Slayer's Heavy Incinerator out of the deal.
Yeah.
And the Incinerator is pretty gosh dang strong. And fun to use.
I mean, I'm not sure how useful Ghoul Slayers is, because I feel like most ghouls are just going to get taken down by it straight away anyway.
Yeah, I think this is just a larger complaint about the legendary system in Fallout 4.
Man, I think I need to make another video complaining about the legendary system. It's been too long.
Like all the Slayers ones. Yeah.
But the thing is, I love the concept of Slayers, but it only works well if everything else doesn't also boost damage by ridiculous degrees.
Yeah, and also that it has limitations on the weapons it can go on. Like a Ghoul Slayer's Gamma Gun just won't work. Like it won't work.
It's funny though.
It's funny, but it won't work.
I say that the only legendary effect and weapon that can be affected in the next Fallout game is Ghoul Slayers and the Gamma Gun. So that every legendary drop is a Ghoul Slayer's Gamma Gun. Be brilliant.
It'd be great.
I'd love it.
Oh man. So we went over that one. Pigs Fly. I think we've gone over most
we haven't mentioned there's a neat Colonel's uniform.
That's right.
You also get in the Glowing Sea.
You can dress like Colonel Autumn. If you want to.
It's got some mods to it as well. You can actually like change it a little bit. You can get the winter style of coat rather than the standard one. And you also get just like the standard chest armor mods for it too. Even though it does take up the entire body slot. And it's a bit annoying, but like it's a good armor piece, but not good enough considering you will be high level when you're realistically going to go there. Like by the time you get there, you'll be wearing better armor. So that's kind of a shame.
Yeah.
It felt like most of the Enclave stuff was quite high level to go for.
Yeah. Did you also end up with like rank 6 armor quality, or was it a bit lower for you?
I had lower the first time I went through. However, with the character build I've been doing where I went there at high level, I got Mark 6 Enclave XO2 armor straight away. Okay. Yeah, so that seems very level dependent.
Gotcha.
I think with my lower level character there was like Mark 2 or something I got, which is still okay considering I was level 10. So, yeah, it seems somewhat level based.
Yeah. So clearly, like, overall, could say that this is very much designed for enclave enjoyers. If you just like
Yes.
if you just like really strong toys to play around with in the wasteland, like this does provide that.
Yeah.
I know we talked about it at the very beginning, I think before recording, but the Devil's Inferno chest mod,
Yeah.
that the Speak of the Devil quests, if you make one choice over the other, you end up getting like just the item of this mod that you can put on the chest piece. That mod is kind of fun.
Yeah, it's just very, very strong and uses up like an additional mod slot rather than taking the space of anything else you'd want, which is pretty good.
Yeah. Also the backstory stuff. Some of the backstory stuff, especially with the Black Devil stuff, like pretty cool.
Yeah, I did enjoy that. I'm very glad that for my video covering it, I happened to just pick the makeshift weapon pack and the Devil quest, Black Devil quest, because I feel like those two have some of the best writing of them.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, the downside of the Echoes of the Past one is like it's all very official like government soldier sounding.
Yeah,
And like the reports and stuff like that, which makes it hard to care about really. Which is also, well, it's also similar to the Best of 3 one, which is it's the gunners, but I don't know. The gunners are so underwritten too. Like,
yeah.
at least that's how
the
I feel.
writing on that one as well was weird. Like,
Yeah,
the characters were. It felt like the person wrote parodies of the characters they designed almost. Everything was just dialed up a bit much. I wasn't a fan of the writing in that. Or the quest in general as well. Like, it took me ages to do the tracking because I kept getting to 99% and then nothing happened.
yeah.
That was a bit clunky, unfortunately.
That one was. But yeah, just lots of fun things to play around with. If you get through all of the technical issues that, I mean, I think mostly I dealt with out of me
Yep.
and Sarge, but
Thanks for taking the bullet on that one, Caedo.
no problem, man. Troubleshooting is my middle name. But the rest of it, yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good for a free update.
Yeah, I was happy with it. I'd been wanting to go back to Fallout 4 for quite a while anyway. And I was really just waiting on this, so yeah, it was good to go back, and I got to try new stuff.
Good to have another reason. And it, like, please, if you are trying out the next gen update on like PlayStations or Xboxes, like, please tell us like how the game performs for you and stuff like that. Does it run like a dream now? Like, we've heard from a couple people that it's great, but
Yeah.
I would love to hear more and more details on like what you guys thought of the new content as a whole. And did you explode things too much like I did and lose some of the items that you didn't think you were able to get? I don't know.
Or were you sensible like me and reloaded for one time you exploded too much things?
Yeah. Okay. Well, with that, I guess we can get into the what we've done thing. This was a bit of a
Yeah.
shorter topic, but we kind of
That's alright.
that's what I get for having an outline.
Yeah, should make the editing and uploading and stuff a bit faster.
Yeah, probably.
Look at the bright side. Hey, Caedo, I've been playing Fallout 4. Did you know that?
I didn't. What have you done in Fallout 4? Just do like a repeat of the whole conversation we just had.
Just literally copy and paste the audio over again.
Make it a 24 hour.
Just every time it hits that point, we just play it again and again and again. I made a video, Fallout 4 in 2024, which I made in 7 hours, which I am insanely proud of.
Yeah, well done.
Like, there's only a couple of things I forgot to do in the edit as well. I forgot to do the cross-match audio thing, just to make the audio run a bit smoother, and I was supposed to put in like a Pokemon super effective pop-up at one point. Those are literally the two things I forgot from the edit. Otherwise, it's your standard Games in 2024 video, which are things I'm very proud of. I did a real good job on that video overall. The Like the average view duration, the click-through rate, that's all up. Everyone seems very happy. It's got, what's the like to dislike percentage? 100% like to dislike. Everyone's hit the like button.
Whoa.
And it's not done great in views. Like, it's done okay.
Ugh.
But, yeah, for some reason, despite all the analytics being up, YouTube just isn't showing it to many people. Which is fun.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah. Like, I get it when the click-through rate's a bit lower than usual, or the view duration's a bit lower. I'm like, okay, YouTube thinks this video isn't doing well, so it's not recommending it to people. But everything is up except for views. It's literally just not showing it to enough people. And I don't know why. Yeah, but I'm very happy with that video. If you want to see what my first impression of the new content was, and me just doing stupid stuff in the game as well, do check it out. There are many explosions. It also works as a pseudo-guide for a couple of the quests. Just by the nature of it all, so that's quite fun. And I've also been working on a character build, which should be up soon, if not up already. I'm literally, once we're done recording, I'm finishing off the script, recording footage, editing, uploading, maybe? I don't know how long it's going to take. But I've been working on an Enclave soldier build.
Oh,
And,
I wonder why.
Well, it's because there's Enclave power armor. Yeah. And overall, it's like a very solid build. It's like a good tank character who can literally survive mini nukes to the face, because the XO2's ridiculously overpowered. I'm going to rewrite a bit of the backstory, because it very much went in, hey, you know the Enclave of the bad guys direction, where I just try and pummel that into people's heads a bit. And I still want to go with that, but I do think I need to rewrite it a bit, because it's very, it'll get me some comments in the current way it's written.
It's maybe a little too anti-Enclave, perhaps?
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff is... I'm trying to say this in a way that won't get any angry comments on this as well. A lot of it is, the Enclave as the faction is Fallout's government in the post-war, so to speak. They very much say that they were the government and they're continuing on. And I bring that up in the backstory, but the backstory also takes place in pre-war because Fallout characters are from pre-war. And I feel like the overlap there is gonna make people angry, because I've already made people angry in a previous Fallout video.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I can see where your head's going with this, and yes, I think you're right.
Yep. So we'll see what that ends up like.
Okay.
I don't know yet.
I'll
but...
still watch it. I'll still enjoy it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I am also unsure of how many more Fallout 4 videos I should make. I think depending on how the build goes, I'll either keep kind of pushing myself and getting more out there, or if it doesn't do particularly well, I'll just immediately switch back to the more broad RPGs, because I have actually got a new I Tried video I made before the update, and I've got a whole bunch of other stuff I want to try out and make content in, and I still should go about and find a second job at some point, because I kind of put that off while the Fallout stuff was happening.
It'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah. I also did play an absolute ton of games before the Fallout 4 update, but I pretty much gave up on all of them.
Oh.
Like, to some extent. Like, one of them was Far Cry 6, which I'd been trying out for a bit, and it was mostly fun. Very generic, but the open world sandbox gameplay's fine. It is one that was or is on Game Pass, so I was like, yeah, I can try it out. And it's fun enough gameplay.
So it's like, it's if I were to guess, it just feels like another Far Cry game.
Yeah. I'm going to say it. I think Far Cry 5 is the best of the Far Cry games. I think the story in that is actually interesting. It tackles some issues in a different way that I've not seen in video games before. And it just does, kind of hits the peak of the open world sandbox fun messing around sort of thing. Far Cry 6 is a lot more generic feeling, in my opinion. And I got to a quest where they killed off two of the only characters I actually liked. And then I was like, I don't care about this game anymore. Yeah. The only thing I did enjoy that was added in the game, or did specifically enjoy that was added, was the Bandido's Operations, which was just like you send off people to do stuff while you're out adventuring, which is a mechanic I kind of like. Although I have just remembered by saying bandidos that one thing that bugged me in the game is you're in a Spanish-speaking country. Like 99.9% of the people you run into are from this country, and they just throw in the odd Spanish word and the rest of it's in English, and it feels more out of place than if they were just speaking English. And what really put that into perspective for me was I've also been watching the show Dexter for the first time, and there's a few characters in that speak Spanish, and they'll actually switch to Spanish for like an entire sentence or conversation when speaking to another Spanish person. And when they do put in a single word, it's in a way that makes a lot more sense. Like, they'll use it to refer to someone, or just as like an exclamation or something when they're surprised. Whereas in Far Cry 6, they'll just throw it in randomly, it seems. Like, it just feels a lot more clunky.
Oh, like there's no... It's not necessary for context, it's just...
No, it's they just throw in a Spanish word when they're speaking English the rest of the time, and it's like... Yeah, it doesn't remind me that they're a Spanish-speaking country, it just takes me out of it a bit.
Yeah.
I think it's something that's quite difficult to do when you want to have it be in English because you're making a game primarily for English-speaking places, but you still want to show that, and I think it's a very difficult thing to accomplish. But because I was watching a very good example of that being accomplished while playing a very bad example of it, it just made the gap so much worse.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. I've ranted enough. What have you been doing, Caedo?
Oh, well. I already talked about my complaint in troubleshooting, Fallout 4. I didn't mention my troubleshooting I had with my computer. That one is... Usually when I have to troubleshoot something, it's often something that comes out of nowhere, and either I fix it or I don't. The audio fade-in issue my speakers have had for ages, still haven't figured that out, but one I did figure out was, for some reason, when I was playing, or I think playing Starfield, no, it was either Fallout 76 or Fallout 4, I used caps lock for my VATS button, because otherwise the caps lock button is unused. For whatever reason, at this moment when I try to hit caps lock, instead I got the big old icon on the screen that has the lock icon and a capital A, and it shows it locking, and nothing happened on screen in game. So I was like, okay, this is interesting. So I just kept mashing caps lock, and that icon on the screen just kept opening and closing and opening and closing, with no response in the game whatsoever. And I'm like, okay, this is very strange. The game's not responding to my inputs. Something in Windows or my startup programs is just commandeering the caps lock button now for some reason. This must have been some kind of Windows update for HP specifically. I don't know. But what it ended up being is some background program suddenly decided to take control of the caps lock and probably other lock keys.
Yeah.
And turned on its accessibility feature without my knowledge. So to have it just pop up on screen and have no other function for other games using that input. I ended up finding it. It was a weird named thing. Basically, I was kind of picking and choosing things to close in Task Manager, either until my computer crashed or something worked. But fortunately, it didn't take very long for me to find what the thing was, and it was HP SEU Host Launcher was the application that my computer just decided to run. So I went to my apps section, and it turns out that because the app section usually like highlights things that are or like your my programs or whatever you want to call it. It highlights what you have newly installed or been freshly updated or something on your computer, and that was one of them. And I'm like, okay, this is weird, let me just uninstall that. Problem solved. But it did take me about an hour and a half, and that was the thing I was troubleshooting before I had to deal with the Fallout 4 next gen update. So I had hit my quota on troubleshooting for the week, because my patience level grows very thin very quickly when it comes to this kind of stuff. But fortunately, I fixed both of the things I was having trouble with, only within a couple hours each, instead of not figuring it out. So that's good, I guess. I made a Starfield guide that went up yesterday. For anybody still collecting magazines, the New Atlantean magazine set, one that gives recipes, not buffs, not stat buffs. Therefore, it's per magazine issue instead of how many you have for those recipes. Kite helped me alter the magazine cover because it was just hard to tell what was there for the thumbnail purposes. So I changed it to just show one of the food items that you can make, which looks way more delicious and appealing as a thumbnail. So that's something I redid because I have a habit of doing that. And also I played a little bit of the Secret of Mana 3 remake because it was finally on sale to a degree that I could justify it, which was 50% off, $20. So I bought it and I've been playing it, and it does have the it's weird playing a game in 3D but having some of the archaic like Super NES like full character pause moments where you're like taking damage or healing or something like that. It was so jarring the first little bit, but I'm getting the hang of it, learning and relearning, going back to one of the first Mana games, after playing, Dawn of Mana that I talked about, I think last episode, or something like that, which was just a physics playground because Havoc was just discovered, and it was just like, oh, let's just create chaos with all these physics objects and make that a core mechanic, whereas this one's more subdued and very early in the action RPG genre. So it's weird and interesting, and I intend on finishing it this time when I feel like I have more time. So that's pretty much all I've been doing, I think, besides watching the Fallout show a second time through with Kite.
Oh boy.
So
already on the second rewatch.
I mean, I already finished it. Like, we already finished it. Like, it was a week plus ago now, but it was good. It was still really good. My feelings on it didn't change. I just had more questions because I had more time to process. That's all there is to that. Thank you everyone for listening and watching whatever B-roll I decided to put on screen. If you have your takes on the next gen update, we'd definitely like to hear it. Were you expecting the Borderlands science to have any results? I certainly forgot about it. Do you like listening to Tim Cain, who is the original creator of Fallout, talk about creating Fallout and stuff and nuancey takes about lore drift? And are you excited for season 2 of the Fallout show? Please leave your comments below. You can be a comment of the cast. Thank you, Sarge, for joining me.
No worries.
And thank you everyone again for listening. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you in 2 weeks on the next PIPCAST 3000 episode. Well, 131 probably. Every other Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific. Bye-bye.